In Conversation is a forum for dialogue of contemporary social and cultural issues which affect an evolving and emerging Indian American community committed to preserving the vast customs of a vibrant cultural heritage.
Welcome to In Conversation, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Bhutani.
And I'm Asta Verma.
The economy is bad, but that has not put down the new entrants in the food business to open their own place. Now, you would know that the restaurant business is pretty tough these days.
And
they're now making a go
times
of
are
it.
tough, so people are just not going out as much as they used to go out.
Precisely. So there's the new breed of chefs. They're real chefs. They're coming to you or near you in a lunch truck. Used to be only on construction sites that these lunch trucks will come in, but now these new lunch trucks, called green trucks, they actually come down, and by Twitter they let you know they will be on 14th and K, or 12th and P, or 18th and N. I mean, they're changing places because they want more clients for their food. And folks, this food is affordable. At the same time, it has no overhead, and any aspiring chef can gross as much as $400,000 a year, and you don't have to work 7 days a week.
And it's gourmet food, apparently.
And it's gourmet food. I mean, something that you would love to cook and share with people. You get fish, you get steak, you get hamburgers, you get, what is it called, foie gras?
Foie gras.
Foie gras. That and also escargots. And there's even a dessert truck in New York City that's, again, green truck that carries creme brulee. I mean, I'm surprised.
You know what? Two things strike me about this story. First of all, you've got Twitter and all these modern tools to let you know the truck is coming, right?
Yes.
It used to be that you'd have ice cream trucks. Remember the sound of the ice cream truck? You'd run outside because you heard it coming? But just think, in my mind, I just picture all these different kinds of trucks, each with its own kind of sound and signature.
That's right.
And when you hear it, you say, that's the steak truck. Wait, that's the dessert truck. That's the appetizer truck. And you could just go down the line and pick your food from what you want.
And you know, $400,000 revenue in 1 year, folks, it's not bad.
You know, I actually have to think that if you're a foodie, you might object because the restaurant business is not just about the food and the chef. It's also about the experience. You go there for the wait staff to be sit down in a fancy dining room with like the right silverware and whatnot. So you're not going to have that experience. So the social side of it may not be quite there, but it's inventive, and I think the margins are probably higher here.
Much higher, and at the same time, you don't have to buy the lunch truck. You can actually lease it. Very low overhead, I'm talking. And if you really want, you can come in with the 5 or 6 beach chairs and put it out, right on the footpath. And only thing missing will be wine.
You have to have a liquor license, which you can't do. Sure.
In other places, you're allowed to drink on the street, but not in Washington, D.C., Maryland, or Virginia. Other than that, this is fantastic.
Do you think you could have a nice steak meal without the glass of red wine to go with it? I don't know. That might be kind of tough for me. Ramesh, drawing on this theme of entrepreneurship and how it happens in a down economy, Psychology Today did a good article on why this kind of an economic shrink is actually good for the soul. Most of us run this rat race where we're always trying to outcompete. And when the economy is good, we're all running as hard as we can and as fast as we can. And that leads to all kinds of stress, social stress. But when you have a recession, there's actually some relief introduced into the system.
Oh, thank God I have a nice job.
Well, thank God.
Bosses finally get appreciated.
That, and there's a relief of lowered expectations, which makes sense if you consider the basic principles of economic competitiveness. Paradoxically, there's a quote in here I love, financial upheaval releases us from the tyranny of money. So you don't have to be a slave to the money that you're always trying to work so hard to get. Basically, we can all step back when a recession happens and take a deep breath, right? Most of us are running so hard, we don't know how to take a deep breath. Even though it's uncomfortable to be unemployed or be stressed out about your job continuing, there's other positives. It gives us the chance to communicate better. We learn to cogitate more and figure out, we become introspective. We figure out what goals we really need to set. And it becomes a transition period where we actually solidify who we are. It's actually good for slowing down this hectic pace that we are all running so hard in, and it gives us a chance to catch our breath. I just thought it was a positive spin on, sometimes thinking that the world is over and your life is over because
I
you lost
always
your job.
knew there was something good in recession. You just told me what it was. And it's also important.
It is important. We learn to celebrate the small things.
How many McDonald's restaurants do you think there are in India?
Wow. I mean, we now have several urban centers, so I have to think that there's several hundred.
It's a little less than 200.
Really?
But what they're doing is they're opening 35 to 40 restaurants every year.
I'm surprised by that. I would have thought that we would have been at least close to 1,000. Think of all the cities we have.
No, you remember all of the hoopala that went in with that Hindu Vatas and whatever it is, beating up on these restaurants. Well, it's all over now. The new restaurant chain that has got in there is called Brinker Chain. They have Maggiano.
No way.
They have Chili's. They got a Maggiano that just opened in Saudi Arabia.
Everybody loves pasta, right? How do you go wrong with pasta, I guess?
But what I'm saying is, it's kind of strange. A restaurant chain from the United States can go and open restaurants in India. Why not Indians do that themselves?
I think because there's a brand name associated with it, right? I mean, KFC, McDonald's. I mean, KFC is probably even bigger in India than it is here versus McDonald's. But people like to eat out, and for them, this is a Western dining experience as opposed to an Indian dining experience. You know, for me, the thing I was struck by, and we talked about this before, on my last trip to India, I ate at a Pizza Hut. Now, when we think of Pizza Hut, we're really not thinking high, fine dining, right?
Yeah.
But in India, it is. You know, the waiters come out, they greet you, they give you table service, they explain the pizza, and it's a rather fine dining experience. So I just think that these restaurants do a makeover when they go overseas, right? They go back to their sort of high-end luxury roots, or at least the things that they're trying to establish, which are not successful here. Fast food will always be fast food here. But in India, those same restaurants can have a different image and invite a different clientele. They're aiming for the middle class.
Folks, the global warming is here, but it's not all bad for everybody. For instance, an island called Greenland, which is located in the Arctic Circle, they are very happy to see the ice melting because that makes the river run very fast. And when the rivers run fast, you know, you can tap hydroelectric. 56,000 is the population of Greenland. And they're getting independence for the first time in 300 years. So they are very excited, looking forward to a great future. They're looking at some of the land, you know, which now you can see. They want to dig it because they feel there's gold, minerals, oil, and other things in there. And, of course, they're inviting the world over. Hey, we got so much water. You need cool servers? Come and start your server farms here, which I thought was very funny.